Hi, my name is Yol, and this is a walkthrough of the PerfectXL Risk Finder. This is going to be quite a practical walkthrough of all of the different features and functions of the tool. If you're looking more for context on how to utilize this in your own business or environment, I suggest you view the use cases portion on our website. But for now, I've got my Risk Finder open, I'm on the home screen, and I get the option to select or drag and drop in an Excel file. If I go ahead and select, it'll open up the File Explorer. I can go choose a file from there, but as you've probably seen, I have a demo file ready. This My Company Excel sheet. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag that into the tool, and we're off. What I'm instantly met with, let's take a look over here, is this spreadsheet quality matrix. Well, this can be a little bit overwhelming at first glance, but let me just quickly explain what's in here. On the left axis, I see a bunch of different categories in this case because it's currently showing the results per category as well. These are categories, different kinds of risks that can take place in a spreadsheet. Then I've got the severities here, where risks are things that could really be going wrong, that could be negatively impacting an outcome, or they just need to be repaired. We've got weaknesses, things that might impact the maintainability of a file, how easy it is to transfer it to someone else, or maybe the performance. And then we've got observations. These are things that we can't really say if it's good or bad necessarily, but it's something like a hidden worksheet. It's good for the person auditing or checking a file to be aware that it's there. Also, you'll see that in each of these different boxes, we see two numbers. The first number represents the number of unique or different issues that are taking place in this category, where under that we see the number of cases. This could be loosely representing the number of cells impacted or the number of unique instances of these issues taking place in the model. We can also view the results per worksheet. It's the same kind of table except we're seeing it per individual tab in the Excel file. We can view the results per status. These are user-given statuses that we'll dive into a little bit more as we continue throughout the tool. These are things that you will apply to issues on your own as you're moving through the model. Let's go ahead and have a look at the left side of the tool here. We'll see some of those different categories represented in light gray and those specific unique issues underneath it. Let's just go ahead and jump into a reference issue. We've got a longer cell reference expected here. What we're met with is at first a little introductory text. So I can see a longer cell reference is expected when a formula refers to only part of a group of similar cells. In most cases, adjacent cells should be included. This is supposed to give a little bit of context as to what's going on with the issue. Then we'll see the individual cases. In this case, I've got an issue in budget, cell E18, with a risk categorization. That's that red ball there. Or an issue in P&L that covers more cells from C22 to D22, a little bit of a range, and that is classified as a weakness. Now, these are also things that you can filter on. If you want to adjust what's showing in the sidebar or what's showing in front of you when you've got an issue selected, you can use these filters over here on things like review status, the worksheet, the inspection category, so the different kinds of categories of risks. What I'm going to filter on right now is just the risk level. So if I only want to be looking at those potentially dangerous or those high risks, I can do that. I'll go ahead and click apply, and I'll see that my list shrinks from 2 down to 1, but also this left sidebar has been largely modified. If I go ahead and click on budget E18, then I'll jump into this very specific case. I can see the cell reference where the issue is taking place. I see a screenshot that is automatically generated of my actual Excel file, so it's giving me some context as to where this issue is taking place. We're very proud of that. Then we've got a formula in question, so the formula that's causing the issue, a little text that gives some context as to what's going on. So in this case, this formula refers from E14 to E16, while data populates all of E14 to E17. As you can see, these links highlight, you can jump to those cell ranges directly. We also have a fix-it text. This gives some advice on how to repair the issue. Sometimes this is more general. In this case, it's quite specific. Let's go ahead and click on this screenshot to see this issue in Excel itself. That's done very quickly. We'll jump to the Excel file. We've got the cells selected then again right away. We can click on that cell to see exactly what's going on in Excel itself, and I can see that indeed staff, operating costs, and materials seem to be included here, but this ground lease row has not been included in my sum formula. That does look like a blunder of some sort. Let's navigate quickly back over to the risk finder, which is where we can give a status to this issue. In this case, I would probably mark this as unacceptable, and I might ask my colleague to take a look. Hopefully they'll be able to see that this is an issue that they can resolve quite quickly. These statuses will also be given back to us in reports that we can make at the end of this process. So I can see here at the top bar of my tool that I've got a couple of different options. The first is back, to go back a step in wherever we were in the tool. It's a navigation tool for within the tool itself. Then we've got a save button. This saves the results of my findings, so essentially the statuses or notes that I've given to different tools in my tool locally, so that next time I analyze this file, it'll give me the option to go ahead and continue to work with those saved results. On the right here, I see the opportunity to import or export. I'm just going to go ahead and click on this export so you can see what that looks like. This is an Excel file that contains information on all of the different risks that we just viewed in the risk finder. We can see the statuses here. We can see the different categories, the different inspections, just kind of a breakdown of everything that might be going wrong. Then in the details overview, we get all the information we got in the front end as well. For example, this longer cell reference here is a risk in budget E18, the formula that's causing the issue, that find it text, how do you find the issue, the fix it text, how do you repair it, and then also the status that I've given it as a user. This export can definitely be used on its own. So you could send it to a colleague and ask them to repair the issue based on the information in the export, or you could use the import button for somebody else that has the risk finder to continue to work with somebody else's statuses and reviews. So let's say you as a user have applied a couple of statuses, you send that file, including the export, over to a colleague. They can see exactly what you've commented in that risk finder tool as well. Let's go ahead and click on the PDF report. This is maybe for a more formal documentation of known risks, or maybe to be able to communicate with somebody about what's going on. I've got a couple of different options. This audit summary will just contain those matrices that we looked at the very beginning of this process, those kind of red and green stoplight graphs. Or you can do a full inspection report. You can do that per category, per review status, or per worksheet. In this case, let's take a look at an inspection report per category. Again, I'm going to click Create Report. It's going to give me the option to save it, change the name, whatever I need to do. Go ahead and click Save. And within a few seconds, I'm met with a PDF report on my file. In here, I will see that little matrix overview per category, what's going wrong, where. And then I will see the individual errors. In this case, an Excel error on project results E26 with a formula HLOOKUP something. And this is a risk because it's producing an error. We can also see down here, if we scroll down to reference issues, we see that longer cell reference expected, including the case notes that we've left behind. This is a really easy way to report on and document any known risks in an Excel file. The final thing that we have here is a library. It can be a little overwhelming at times, all these different inspections and notes. There is a lot of information here available on each different kind of inspection, why we've given it the tag that we've given it, how you can avoid it, and references to known documentation around why these kinds of issues negatively impact spreadsheets. We also have a list of general principles. These are general ideas that are trying to encourage users to make better use of Excel. So if you're looking for a little bit more of that training side or understanding why something's going wrong, the library is a great place to look. And that was the walkthrough of the PerfectXL Risk Finder. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help.